Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Husker Doc Talk podcast. Good to have you here. If you are watching on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. We'd like you to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Also give the video a like. Start leaving your comments in the comments section. You guys never disappoint when it comes to the comments. If you're listening on an audio podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we go into your downloads each and every week. And if you do us a favor, give this podcast a rating, hopefully a 5-star. And of course, if you can give us a review, that helps out very, very, very much. Dr. Rob, what is going on?
How are you doing?
You know, I could not be better.
You look good.
Things are going well. My daughter Greta's coming home from Savannah, Georgia this week. And
good deal.
It's her winter break. You know, I like this about, she goes to the Savannah College of Art and Design, and they're on trimesters, not semesters. So they have a lot of kids that come in from all over the country and all over the world. So they're like, hey, if you're going to go home for Thanksgiving, don't come back until the new year. So the first 10-week trimester is over. She gets home on Friday and doesn't go back till January 5th. That's a long-ass break, man.
Damn, you can get like a full-time job.
No kidding. No kidding. You are you're sucking on a beer right now, and I got to thank our good buddy Doug at Cross Train. He showed up at my office this past week, and we were talking some College World Series stuff with MCL Construction, and he brought the office a case of beer. I said, you know, the podcast accepts beer. He goes, I got some out in the car for you, and I think and Doug listens to the podcast each and every week, and he heard that Zipline brought us some beer, and he goes, I'm not going to be outdone. And he brought us a case of cross-train beer, an assortment pack. And you're going with the weather-themed can this morning. You're going with the, what are you actually drinking?
I mean, it is in the morning. I mean, it's almost 11 a.m. But so I'm doing the inflatable snowman, which I grabbed it because I'm thinking, okay, if I'm drinking and it's not 12 noon yet, I try to do like a breakfast stout, oatmeal porter, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Something that's a little more acceptable. So the inflatable snowman lager with cranberry and cinnamon. So I'm like, well, it's got cinnamon in it. That's
breakfast.
That's breakfast right there. I was thinking like it was going to be a way heavier lager, like this was going to be lager knocking on Porter's door kind of thing. It's almost like a light sour.
Really?
Yeah, the cranberry and cinnamon, it's not overpowering by any means with the cinnamon. Like I'm looking at going like, okay, this is a breakfast pastry in a can, and it's not. Like it's a really light tasting sour.
You know, I'm not drinking beer anymore, but you're tempting me, and I'm only drinking beer because of the carbs, and I don't want to put all my weight back on.
There's more in there. You should have one.
Dude. Owen, and we can hear Owen now. Owen gave himself a microphone this week.
Owen sounds good.
He does sound good. Owen, the whole plan for the fridge has gone south, though, hasn't it? Because you had an original plan for the beer fridge.
Well, yeah, I was saying this last week, but basically, like I was kind of thinking that I'd put water bottles and like Diet Coke in there for if we have guests or anything.
Needless filler, Owen.
Well, yeah. You remember Troy Dannon did not want to come to the basement because he knows we drink in here, and he's like, well, I can you come to the office?
It's appearances.
It's an appearance.
No, and I totally get that.
Yeah, but
it's good to have a few extra things in here. We work in here quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
but we have not had space in the fridge yet to even put any Diet Coke or water or anything.
I mean, how many beers do you think we have in there?
Over 50, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
maybe more than that.
Yeah, I bet there's 75 to 100 cans of beer in there. And it's all craft beer, and it's from all over the country. I mean, it's an awesome fridge.
We've been working on it. We've been working on it.
But every time we make a dent, like Cross Train shows up with a case of beer, and you're like, oh, okay,
that's because they're good human beings.
They are good human beings. They are.
And I mean, and I'll admit, it's like, guess what? The Zipline. They're good. They gave us beer. They're good humans too.
Everybody who gives us beer are good human beings. So yeah, if you want to give us beer, we accept beer, by the way.
Yeah, we love Jason. We love Craig. Those guys hook us up.
DocTalkSports@gmail.com if you want to know where to send that beer. What's the other beer that you got there? That's a Cornhusker Crusher.
Yeah. So this was the cross strain. So this is so now they did go with a couple of different craft breweries for the NIL beers or the in-house beers.
That, by the way, is the number one selling craft beer at Memorial Stadium.
So it's the cross-strain Cornhusker Crusher.
How many cases of that at Memorial Stadium do you think they go through a week? I asked Doug this.
It's got to be a few now.
700.
Holy shit.
700
nice.
Cases.
I like it. Which we need to talk how they're doing the sales at the facilities a little bit here, and this isn't a cross strain or a zip line issue. They're kicking ass. I have not had the Cornhusker Crusher yet.
Well, you're going to have it in about 10 minutes.
Well, it's a citrus wheat ale. Historically, I've not been a wheat beer guy.
Okay.
Nothing against it. It's just usually not my favorite. We're going to try it.
There you go.
So now the thing that was interesting. So my wife and I ended up going down. We got season tickets, Husker Wrestling.
Yeah.
So we went down to the opening season duel.
Is that sold out?
I don't know what constitutes sold out. I mean, there was a
lot of fucking people there.
Yeah, I mean, for a wrestling duel that wasn't against
Iowa, Penn State,
Iowa, Penn State, Oklahoma State, North Carolina, all of those coming up. By the way, well, I think they're at Penn State this year.
Okay.
I think Iowa is in
Lincoln.
So, but for a big duel like that, it's packed. Like the Devaney is, it's like almost volleyball-esque packed. This was, I would probably say the lower bowl of the Devaney was pretty well packed for, it was Army.
Well, we'll save the wrestling talk because people are going, are you guys going to talk a fucking football game or not?
Well, hold on. I got to finish the beer thing.
Okay,
really
sorry,
quick.
man.
So we're at the wrestling tournament, or wrestling duel rather, and they got beer there. I mean, it's university's doing it now, so that's a good thing. We're like, let's grab a couple. So they got the beer station set up, and they got it set up where you've got all your different beers in like the big glass front fridge cooler. So you walk by.
Is it a grab and go?
Grab and go. You get to the end to pay, and at the pay station, it's this device that you set the beers or whatever you got, candy, popcorn, whatever, you set it on a scanning platform that's probably about 2 feet by 2 feet, and it scans what you've got. It can register whatever it is you've got. You get it, swipe a card, use your Apple Pay, whatever, pay, keep moving. It was not the quickest moving line by any means. And I realized, thinking about places I'd been where the lines move quick, and the example I'll give is when you're at CHI Center I've been there for both. I was there for the Creighton, Nebraska volleyball match earlier this year, which was amazing. And then, I've been there for a handful of Creighton basketball games. I'm not a big J-sker, but if Creighton's playing, I don't know what, Georgetown or whoever, and somebody offers me tickets, I'm going to go. They're a local team. I perfectly enjoy seeing Creighton beat anybody but Nebraska. So
you're a J-sker. You're like Connor Orr, a resident lawyer.
I'm like a J-sker light.
Okay.
Like I want to see Creighton volleyball, Creighton basketball. You want to see them do well. I want to see Nebraska beat them, but I want to see those teams do well otherwise. But anyway, these are packed events. I mean, the Creighton Nebraska volleyball match, I believe, set a record for the largest indoor crowd.
I think you're right.
For an NC2A volleyball match. So that is a packed house. The alcohol lines were moving super quick. You'd hit the fridge, grab it out, and the line was in.
You know what that is?
Motion.
That's 25 years of experience of selling alcohol.
It is, and the thing I realized now, like I said, nobody is paying me to be a sales systems engineer here for this.
Though for how smart you are, you could probably do that.
But I'm noticing at the CHI Center for these Creighton volleyball and basketball games, they've got like at least 3 to 5 pay stations at each line. So you get to the end of the line, here's like 4 pay stations. You go to any one of them. So there's 4 people paying at one time. Those lines move quick. when we're up at Augustana for athletic events, same thing. They've got alcohol sales in the stadium, in the hockey arena up there. At the pay stations, I think they had at least 5 or 6 per alcohol sales area. So you literally have 5 or 6 people with that scanner scanning you out. And the line the line doesn't stop moving. When I'm at the Nebraska event, you're just standing there, not moving at all for 10 minutes.
Well, it's all about infrastructure. That's why I think Troy Dan and his team, they'll do an assessment after this year and the question would be, quite a bit.
How much infrastructure do you need to go from?
You need quite a bit
for one little credit card scanner versus 3.
Well, it's all about user experience. It's all about, the space and what you need. It's just
you can fit a lot of credit card scanners in a small space.
All I'm saying is year one, they'll learn from it, but you got to make sure that it's efficient and fast because people don't want to sit there and wait in line very long.
Well,
they just don't.
With one, it's not very efficient or fast. So anyway, there's my message to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. You need to triple the number of pay stations, pay scanners at the end of each line, and those lines will move crazy.
I always look at it, whatever you think you need, like double it, right? If you think you need 4, do 8. If you think you need 8, do 16, because that's going to make it better for the fans.
Well, and the other thing is part of me also understands that maybe this is a built-in governor on the engine, that they wanted to slow stuff down year one, just to make sure, hey, maybe we don't want people buying alcohol.
Oh, they're buying. Did you see the stat that came out? Did you see the stat that came out? Nebraska right now, number 1 in beer sales across the board in college football stadiums. Now, Ohio State hasn't reported, and from what I was told from a distributor, that when it all comes out, Ohio State will be number 1, but Nebraska will be number 2 in the country in beer sales, which doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me much at all, but it's it was interesting to me, like, is this intentional or not? Are they trying to actually slow people down a little bit?
No,
or was it just, hey, we've never done this before?
I think they've never done it before. I think they could have
surely they had somebody looking at other places and how other places did it. I mean, for Pete's sake,
Rob,
Omaha's 40 minutes away.
Rob, there is no place like Nebraska.
Oh, for God's sakes. And Iowa has bad corn.
Yeah, Iowa doesn't sell beer in the stadium, though, so that's whatever. Every runner, every patient, every athlete, every doctor, every old guy like myself, we all know when that body starts to go, it aches and pains. I watch you walk in, Rob.
Haven't found a cure for the common birthday
Well,
yet.
I see it. You played in the NFL. I see you kind of, your body moves gingerly, but the truth is...
Carefully. I move carefully, deliberately.
When the pain usually isn't from where that spot that it hurts, it's the body's chain reaction. That's why G-Defy shoes and the Verso Shock technology invented in 2006 are such a breakthrough. And you've been wearing the G-Defys for about a year and a half now, Rob. And that Verso Shock technology, he's got them on right now. It works. It started when Rob had a broken ankle, wore the G-Defys to a game, and he's like, these are amazing. Absolutely amazing, because it absorbs shock and redirects energy to help your body move naturally. So don't take Dr. Rob's word for it. Don't take my word for it. I want you to check it out, like hundreds of thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, that this stuff is real. Try G-Defy shoes. Get $30 off and free shipping right now. Your body deserves it. Go to gdefy.com and enter the promo code DocTalk50 at checkout. That's promo code DocTalk50 to get $30 off and free shipping on your G-Defy shoes. Doesn't have to be your first pair of shoes. It can be your second, third, or fourth. But experience what Dr. Rob does, what Owen does, what I do, and wear G-Defy shoes. All right, people are going, Jesus Christ, you guys have talked 14 minutes and haven't talked any football.
Yeah, what happened anything happened during the game?
I'm going to dive right in, Rob. TJ Lateef's a better quarterback than Dylan Raiola.
Damn.
Tell me you didn't watch that game and you didn't go, he's a better passer, he has a better pocket presence, and he's a better runner. He throws a better ball than Dylan Raiola. He does.
Okay, so there's a few caveats here. Okay,
that's fair.
number one, I know they talked about it, and Rule after the game even was like, oh no, we had the reins off. We had all this confidence in him. Playbook was wide open. You didn't see him go downfield, like deep downfield much. I'd have to go back and look at the passing charts to see how many. They didn't do like the long downfield shots. They'll launch it downfield with Dylan. And is he a better quarterback? He's definitely different.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew that going in, and I think we'd at least touched on that a little bit in previous podcasts, that it's a different element to the game with him. I mean, it's not one of these. Dylan doesn't want to run. He wants to stay in the pocket. He'll roll out a little bit. I'm not sure Dylan really likes to get out in space much. I think Lateef's perfectly fine getting out in open space. I guess the way I look at it is Dylan a better quarterback? Yeah, I think overall he's a better overall quarterback. I think he's a very good thrower. I do think Dylan's got a great arm. The question, I mean, think about the Hail Mary.
Okay, how about game manager?
I mean, we've got way more experience watching Dylan.
You're right.
I mean, we've got basically one start, one just pinch a mop-up duty game, and then 2 games, which was the Akron and the Houston Christian games, where Lateef basically played an entire half in each of those games.
Okay, but did he look like a backup against UCLA? Oh no.
I thought he played. No, I do not think. And I had the tweet this past week where I said it'll be interesting to see how he looks with a full week of prep. And I mean, a few people commented that, like, okay, we're X number of games into the season. TJ Lateef should have been prepped to come into that USC game ready to roll. And I'm like, okay, well, depending on how the staff does stuff, I think that's still a coaching staff, that the starters are going to get 80-90% of the snaps in practice.
Yeah.
It's just the way they do it. It's not the way we did it. Your mileage may vary, but it's the way Rule and his staff currently do things, is that the starters are going to get the bulk of the snaps in practice. I wanted to see Lateef get the bulk of the snaps in practice and see how he looked, and I thought he looked great in that situation. Now, the other thing I will say is I kind of feel like, I mean, you can say you opened up the playbook. You can say you had a lot of faith in Lateef, but you can't tell me they ran plays that they thought Lateef was more strongly suited.
That's
for.
fair. I get that.
I guess that's what I would say. So I'm not saying it's hard to say he's a better quarterback. It's Raiola runs this chunk of the playbook. Lateef's going to run this chunk of the playbook.
I thought Holgerson called one of his better games as offensive coordinator against UCLA. Because the balance was there.
I would agree, but here's the other thing when you look at this situation is I don't think Dylan Raiola is a great fit for what Holgerson wants to do.
And maybe that's why I sit there and go TJ Lateef is a better quarterback.
Yeah, that might be the better way to phrase this. I don't necessarily think Raiola's a better or worse quarterback, or Lateef's a better or worse quarterback. But I think TJ Lateef fits Holgerson's offensive mindset way better than Raiola does. He's a pro-style pass, like drop-back passing quarterback.
Yeah.
And I love all the Mahomes comparisons. The fact that, you know what, for 3 to 5 steps, Raiola can hustle and chuck that sidearm. I totally get it. But Lateef is a far better runner and has far better movement capabilities than Raiola does, and that might be a much better fit for what Holgerson wants to do.
And I think I need to amend my original comment, and I think that's what I'm trying to get across. When I say he's a better quarterback, I do mean for the system. Dylan Raiola is a good quarterback, a great quarterback. He's got a strong arm. His completion rate, I get, but it just felt in the system last night, or against UCLA, I'm like, this just fits the system. He started off 11-11. 11, ended up 13 of 15, 5 yards, 3 touchdown passes. That mobility, he went for 31 yards, but I mean, there was just a different element there. And I'm like, damn, this kid's pretty darn good for sitting in for a true freshman. Just the 5th true freshman to start at quarterback for Nebraska. I mean, and so let's just keep this conversation going. And that is, TJ Lateef did a couple things against UCLA. He led Nebraska to a win. He made himself a lot of money, dude. He made himself a lot of money because you got a quarterback. I'm not going to say you have a quarterback controversy. Dylan Raiola is your quarterback when he comes back healthy. I get that. But the quarterback controversy is, how much do you pay a backup? Because you know who I can't imagine TJ Lateef's agent, and I can't imagine his phone last night not ringing from people going, dude, we got a lot of money for you. Serious.
100. I have zero doubt. I mean, the whole portal thing scares the hell out of me right now when all of a sudden you're sitting here going, and again, it's sort of the whole adage. Everybody loves the backup quarterback until they have a bad game.
But same thing in the NFL. How many guys have you seen come in the NFL who got big contracts after they filled in for a half a season for a starter who got injured, and they're like, oh, we got to go get him in the free agent market, and doesn't.
Oh, was it Castle?
I think so.
Was that the guy in New England where Brady blows his ACL and he ends up having a Pro Bowl season as Brady's backup, and a year or so later he leaves the Patriots and does okay, nothing crazy, but I look at it and I was cautiously optimistic about TJ Lateef. I think I saw what I was optimistic about. This is going out on a limb a little bit here. If we're going to keep Dana Holgerson as an offensive coordinator, Lateef's I think he's, again, it's one game.
It's UCLA. I get it.
Yeah, within the scope of one game against a mediocre team that's had a big coaching change mid-season, he looked good.
He did.
And I think if he continues to perform relative to the parameters here, probably had still a limited playbook that he worked off of, 1 week of prep against a bad team. If he continues to perform at that level, I'm going to keep saying I think he's a better quarterback for Holgerson's system.
Well, and you look at what he's got. He's got Dylan's brother is right around the corner, committed. So you're like, what are my chances really going to be if Dylan Raiola goes pro after next year to be the starting quarterback in Nebraska?
At that point, if it'd depend on if he manages to work a red shirt in here next year, perhaps.
But you know what starting is? It's a drug. You get addicted to it, man.
Totally get it. The question is can he still look at this in a situation of, okay, Raiola's going to be gone. Let's say Raiola's gone after next year. And these are a lot of ifs, what ifs. Is he going to be happy with the idea of, I'm going to kind of hang in this backup role. I'm going to get some starts if somebody gets injured. I'm going to look good doing it. And then I'm going to be a 2-year starter at Nebraska.
There's going to be a lot of coaches looking for quarterbacks. And there's going to be a lot of people calling, going, hey, we got $1 million. We got $2 million. We got $3 million.
And I totally understand the whole thing. People are going to be sitting here correcting us, saying like, hey, you can't contact the kid until they're in the portal.
Right.
Bullshit.
They'll have agents now, man.
I know for a fact that happens. We all want to be like, no, there's rules. No, they get contacted before they're in the portal. A lot of these guys, they jump in the portal
knowing exactly where they're going,
because there are communication pathways that take place.
Did that happen in the NFL? I'm just curious because there are tampering rules, but were there teams talking to agents before free agency opened up so they knew where it has to happen, right? Because you have guys that sign like the day of.
Guys know what the market for themselves is before they step into that market. So, I mean, a guy like, and now here's the other thing. I mean, if you take TJ Lateef's body of work right now, and that includes 2 games against, as one person on Twitter phrased it, glorified high school teams, which they're better than that. But still, it's, Houston Christian and Akron are not very good teams, and Lateef looked great against them. He looked probably better against UCLA on the whole than he did against Akron and Houston Christian, because I think he had full starter repetitions in practice the whole week.
I mean, just let's look at, and I know it's UCLA. UCLA is not a great football team. I understand that.
Well, and here's it. Penn State's not a great team. I mean, obviously they pushed Indiana to the brink.
But you know what Nebraska didn't have against UCLA? No turnovers, no picks, no fumbles.
Minimal penalties. That was a weirdly clean game.
It was like they played at a different gear and level.
And I do think that my one worry with Raiola is that he's kind of good for 1 turnover a game.
Yeah. Because
the turnovers that I worry about with him, it's not the fumbles. It's the thing I worry about with Raiola is there's always that one where the linebacker just kind of drops back in a spy on passing downs, and his job is literally, I'm just going to read Raiola's eyes and try and get in front of wherever he's going to throw that ball and pick it off. And Raiola just doesn't see that guy hanging there in a zone to do that. And that's something that worries me a little bit, because Raiola's had a few picks over the last 2 years where that's been the situation. He sometimes doesn't see that one extra guy sitting in the zone. And so now, do we have enough body of work from TJ Lateef to see that? And the thing I liked about him, and you saw this happen, the announcers were talking about it during the game, where you could put a camera right on TJ Lateef's face. And we talked about this as well too. If he does this, I'm looking at the first read, second read. If it's not there, I'm going. And you saw him do that against UCLA and I think that's for his skill set, you got to do that because he can run. First read, second read. If that second guy is not open, take off. Just go get 5 yards. And that's not something Raiola will do. He'll sit back there waiting. He'll look at the third read, come back to the first guy again, and then hope somebody pops open. But by then he's getting sacked. Now, the other thing is, and this is kind of hard, I got to go back and watch some of the game, because when I was watching it last night, I was kind of watching it as a fan. That was fun to see how that played out. But if I look at it critically, my question is going to be, was the O-line pass protection that much better? Because it seemed like the upfront blocking on pass pro looked pretty good. It really did. And so I'm trying to figure out, was it actually better? Or is the fact that you got a guy who is big and fast and knows how to carry the ball, did that keep a little pressure off of them and force the UCLA defense to kind of do more of a containment style of pass?
But if that's the case, that's going to be the case for every team. So maybe
and that's my point, is that it may be one of these things where maybe the O-line's not necessarily blocking better. It's just the system makes it appear that way. But he didn't have remotely as much pressure on him as we've seen in previous games. And UCLA's got some good athletes. The one guy, number 4 on defense, I mean, he was lighting dudes up all night. I mean, they've got good football players. They got guys who can rush the passer, and they weren't putting a ton of pressure on Lateef at all.
If you were a betting man, if you're going on your DraftKings app, your FanDuel app, and you're going to place a future bet, TJ Lateef,
like state of Iowa athletes.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Is TJ Lateef in a Nebraska uniform next year? Seriously. If you were a betting man.
Damn. I'm going to say yeah, because I think I'm more worried. Like, my bigger worry, I don't know if I should even call it a worry, most of the conversations I had this past week weren't about TJ Lateef hitting the transfer portal. It was about Raiola. Like, what happens if Lateef ends up having 3 really good games, win or lose, but has 3 really good? He repeats last night's performance against Penn State and Iowa. Win or lose, goes to the bowl game and does it a 4th time.
Then you really have a quarterback controversy. You do.
And let's say Nebraska goes, they go 2-2. There's a 9-win. They go 2-2 in these. Well, I guess I'm including the UCLA game. Let's say they go 2-1 in the last 3 games, including the bowl. That's a 9-win season. You go 1-2, it's an 8-win season. But let's say he goes 1-2 in the next 3 games, but plays like he did last night. And yeah, then all of a sudden I'm sitting here going, he seems like he's a better fit. And does Rule, I mean,
it's a good problem to have, by the way.
I'd much rather have that problem, but does this create a situation there where do we see a new O-line coach coming in?
Well,
do we see a second O-line coach come in? Hey, Raiola gets the interior 3. We're going to bring in an offensive tackle guru to coach up the offensive tackles. So it's now, and does Donovan Raiola say, okay, writing's on the wall, I'm out of here? Raiola say, my uncle's gone, I'm hitting the transfer portal. I mean, keep in mind, Raiola played at 3 different high schools in at least 2 different states, and Nebraska was his 3rd commit.
Ohio State, Georgia, then Nebraska.
Yeah, it's not like there hasn't been a degree of transient mindset here with Dylan Raiola going all the way back to his freshman, sophomore year in high school.
This would be interesting. And this is the crazy thing about the transfer portal, but that's the world we live in now. And it's only going to be, the room's only big enough for 2 stars. And I know TJ Lateef's not a star yet, but a guy like Curt Cignetti is looking at it going, all right.
Indiana's got money. Guess what? And Indiana's going to have more money. But I mean, a lot of these schools are going to have that.
And there's going to be a lot of places open because look at the jobs that are open. You're going to have other kids hitting the portal, and somebody's going to want to build a program fast because Curt Cignetti has ruined it for every incoming coach. If you can't turn it around in a year, that's the pressure now. That's the standard.
And it's not necessarily turning it around. You're getting double-digit wins year 1 is what people are looking for.
You know who else made a bunch of money against UCLA? Emmett Johnson made a bunch of money against UCLA. I'm just going to give this to you. 28 rushes, 129 yards, had 103 receiving yards, becoming the first Nebraska running back who had 100-yard rushing yards in a game and 100 yards receiving in a game. Does that surprise you? That actually surprised me.
But first ever?
Let me read the notes.
I'm looking at the stat sheet here.
Tonight's game marks the first time in school history a Nebraska running back has had 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in the same game.
That's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing to me, too.
I think I probably skimmed over that one.
Yeah. I mean, so that makes him an attractive NFL player. Big time. He now has over 1,100 yards rushing on the season.
Where's that at here on
Go to the 4th bullet point.
Okay, there we go.
As he reads slowly.
Yeah. God, I'm a little shocked because you had some guys like, I mean, you go back to who's it, like Brandon Jacobs under.
Well, look at it this way. Johnson increases career receptions to 82. Making him the 3rd Husker in school history with more than 80 career receptions, joining Jeff Kinney and Marlon Lucky.
I mean, I can't believe Marlon Lucky didn't have 100 games.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Or Amir Abdullah didn't, because Amir could catch the ball.
Yeah. I mean,
that's impressive. By the way, do you know what the NFL likes?
Guys who can catch the football.
Guys who can catch the ball, which now here comes the question. So Johnson's a junior.
Yes,
correct?
he is. He's got to jump. You have to jump.
At this point, I don't see it being a case of where he goes into the portal. My thing is, I think he goes to the NFL. I think he declares for the draft.
And Husker fans, I think, can deal with that, right? If somebody says they're going to go to the NFL, you go, oh, okay, I get
Good
that.
For you.
Good for you.
Yeah. My only question would be, the NFL kind of treats good running backs like they're kind of a dime a dozen, unless you're like, unless you're like Henry or somebody like that, who's like an absolute franchise
super elite
at running back.
Well, what's the average? I mean, a good running back in the National Football League is going to play, what, 5-6 years? I mean,
6 to 8 on the long end now, just because it's a pretty physical toll. But if you got a running back who can catch the ball, who can block, there's a lot of guys who were able to make an NFL career out of nothing other than as a running back, great blockers, and can catch the rock. And by the way, I've watched Emmett Johnson block. He's pretty damn good on the blitz pickups, by the way.
Yeah.
So I worry more about him going to the NFL. The question would be, because the NFL kind of treats good running backs like they're a dime a dozen, does he stay an extra year to make what I'm sure is 6-figure NIL money? At least
6 figures.
Good 6-figure NIL
might be
money.
7-figure after this year.
Yeah.
I mean, because he becomes with his...
for 7 figures, do you stay a year?
No, because you're going to get more in the NFL. And it's the freaking National Football.
Is he going to get $1 million a year as a 4th-round draft pick? I mean, he's going to be close, maybe.
Do you think he goes down into the 4th?
I'm saying, what if you got 10 other running backs coming out? Is he going to be a 1st or 2nd round pick? His numbers right now, running, receiving, blocking, in my mind, probably would put him in the first 3 rounds of the draft. Now, you got to remember, there's a lot of NFL teams out there that the quarterback class this year is a little sketch, but there's a lot of good wide receivers, tight ends, O-line, and D-line that teams are going to be picking up. You fill up a round way quicker than people think.
But there's a risk to what you're saying.
Yeah, you get injured.
You get injured, or you don't put up the numbers that you put up this year.
That risk reduction has been tremendously reduced by the 6- and 7-figure NIL deals. Because now it's one of these things where if a guy gets banged up or gets injured, you're still making money. I mean, this is low-key minor leagues right now.
But you know what you don't have? What do you have, Rob? What do you get when you're 65?
Pension.
Yeah,
I agree. There's you go to the NFL, you've got that. You've got some contract backup as well too. So you get injured, a chunk of that contract's going to
be guaranteed
to a degree. So,
and what's the goal of everybody who plays college football?
Go to the NFL. Yeah, I get it. I'm kind of spitballing here a little bit on.
You're trying to polish a turd here is what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to say there might be some reasons for him to stay. But I do agree, odds are he's going to the NFL after this year.
What Johnson has done this year is impressive. Again, 1,131 yards rushing, the most by a Nebraska running back since Samir Abdullah rushed for just over 1,600 yards in 2014. So,
how much credit do you give Holgerson for Emmett Johnson? Because he was the guy who last year, when he came in as a consultant, one of the first questions that got asked, why are we not giving this guy the ball 25 times a game? I mean, that was Holgerson's take, was that he's looking around at the roster, and the big, glaring, obvious thing to him was, why aren't we using this guy way more?
Well, I look at Holgerson, we talked about Johnson leaving. We talk about Lateef leaving, maybe Raiola leaving. I look at Dana Holgerson and go, all right.
I kind of worry about him leaving.
Well,
although he has said he does not want to be a head coach anymore, not in today's world.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't believe that. Everybody likes to be. If you've been the head coach,
and if you're a head coach, look at what guys are getting fired for. Now I don't see
He could go to Oklahoma State, man.
There's a question. You're looking at these schools that are opening up, and you're looking at like, okay, well, who's going where? If Matt Rule stays at Nebraska, if Cignetti obviously is staying at,
and Rule staying in Nebraska. That's signed, sealed, delivered.
There's this pool of guys. I mean, when you're looking at Florida and Auburn and LSU and
Oklahoma State,
Okie State, some of these other places that you're looking at a guy like Holgerson who's been a head coach before. And he's not the greatest head coach in history, but he's had some flashes of brilliance at times.
At West Virginia, he had good teams.
Yeah.
When he took the Houston job, I that was one of those fit things. It really was. It was like, what? I know you were at Houston, but it just seemed like a weird fit.
Yeah, but almost everybody goes to Houston, kicks ass, and then they leave and go to Texas and crash and burn.
But you remember, he was at the end of the American transition to the Big 12.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird.
He was behind the 8 ball at that point, and I think Houston had unrealistic expectations going into the Big 12. When he was hired, they were like, we expect to win 10 games a year here. Well, you know what? College football has changed. It's changed a lot. And I heard Urban Meyer talk about it on Fox Big Noon Kickoff on Saturday, and that there's so much parity in college football. He goes, I thought when NIL happened that the rich would get richer and the poor would get poorer. He goes, the exact opposite has happened.
It spread the wealth.
It's spread the wealth a lot.
If somebody's got a few bucks, they're going to pick up some dudes.
No, what you found is we know who cheated a long time ago and who played by the rule book. And now that the rule book's been thrown out and people can start throwing money at stuff, you go, where did they get money? Oh, they've always had money. Texas Tech.
They were just trying to follow the freaking rules.
Trying to follow the rules.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. That's something that I do think Nebraska, I was going to say that, God, you just planted a new fear in Nebraska fans right there would be Holgerson leaving.
It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. And you're right. He has said that he does not want to be a head coach. I get that. But if somebody calls you and says, hey, well, you're the guy to lead our program.
We'll guarantee you maybe not one of these Brian Kelly contracts, but we're gonna hit you with a contract that if you get fired, you're going to pocket $10 million.
And I'm saying that especially if TJ Lateef runs this offense like we think TJ Lateef can, and you go out and win your next 2 games and the bowl game 3 games, and you do it like you did against UCLA, people go, what's the difference there? Oh, he's got himself a quarterback that he can take with him. You don't think that's going to be, hey, I got a starting spot for you?
Oh, God, when Cignetti came to Indiana, there's 20 guys from James Madison who came with him. So it's, guarantee you that shit happens. So I worry about that now. Now I do. Thank you.
Now, well, you have to bring it up. It would be fools not to bring it up. Of course, Nebraska beat UCLA 28-21. Are you impressed with this defense? I'm not.
Every time, so here's the problem, is that every time I sit here and I'm just like, God, I don't like when they do this. I don't like when they do that. And then I go back and I start looking at some of the statistics. And when I look at things statistically,
gave up 157 yards rushing.
348 overall. It's like their X number of opponent held under 400 total yards. The rushing total, they kind of had, it was pretty similar.
Yeah,
to Nebraska.
It was straight across,
156, 157. First downs were 20 and 21. Did you see the time of possession, by the way?
It was even 30-30.
It was 30-30. I thought that was kind of funny. Nebraska did a good job. If you on, where's it at here on the stat sheet? I was looking at third down conversions.
I don't know, 8 of 14. That's over 50%.
Yeah, Nebraska had a good third down conversion percentage.
Offensively, you mean?
Yeah, they held UCLA to a pretty solid number.
No, they didn't.
What was it?
8 of 14?
Wait, that was UCLA.
That's UCLA's.
Okay, I misread that earlier this morning. I was looking on
Nebraska was 5 of 8, which is really good. I mean, they weren't in third down situations, but UCLA was 8 of 14 and 2 of 3 on fourth down. They're right in front of you on the big sheet. You know that, right? You don't have to use your phone.
I know, but I don't know.
You don't believe the numbers I'm giving you?
Yeah, they were 8 and 14. Yeah, I misread that.
It's all right. It happens.
So, okay. But I mean, overall, it wasn't horrible. They got some pressure on them, on Nico.
They did.
It was probably one of the better games in terms of pressure on the opposing quarterback. Now, it's a guy who is 1,000% not a statue. He's a guy who wants to move around.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of damage in that regard. There was one play that really bothered me a little bit, and I thought it was mid-late third quarter. They had UCLA, I thought, on a third down. And I could tell just by defense alignment, I was like, we're going to lose contain on the defense's right, the offense's left. And it was a pass play. They started getting a little bit of a rush, and Nico just kind of looks over to his left and sees this massive open space with no contain. And I'm sitting here, I remember before the ball was snapped, I was like, oh, we're going to lose contain on our right. Look at this. Boom. He just runs for I think it was a 24, 29-yard gain. And I was just like, how am I sitting here watching this? And right before the snap, the thought goes through my head, they're going to lose contain on that side. And they do. And he gets a 20-plus yard gain. I'm not this great X's and O's schematic guy when it comes to football. So when I'm picking up on pre-snap stuff like that, that's a glaring obvious issue. And you do see that. Now, it seems for the most part that defense has played relatively good football most of the year. And they've held opponents. I mean, Nebraska's, I think the defense is averaging, it's something like, it's like they're giving up like 17 and a half points a game, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it really kind of is. And so when I'm looking at that, I mean, Nebraska was 13 of 15 passing. They were 17 of 27, which still better than 50%. It's not a great passing day, though.
No.
So,
and they did the 14 third downs that you could say they forced a lot of third downs, but if you could close if you make that, I don't know, 5 of 14, that number looks a lot better.
100%.
You're under that 50%.
You get 2-3 more stops, it looks way, way better.
I asked Todd Stepsis, he's the head coach at Northern Iowa, on my show, The Rush Radio Show, which you can listen to every day at therushladio.com from 6 to 8 in the morning. I go, Coach, what is your third down conversion rate? What do you want to be at? They want to be at 47%. So that's kind of the mark.
To be at.
They want to be at 47%.
I remember when I was in Lincoln, we gunned for grade, I think it was 54. Don't ask me why I've got that stuck in my head.
Because Coach Osborne put it on the board each and every week. So
we actually had a statistical goal board, which, by the way, I own that. It's in my basement.
Do you really?
I mean, it's like double the size of this TV screen.
Maybe we should bring it here and put it on the wall behind you, the statistical goal board.
It is. It's kind of weird grammar, but it's like the grammar spoken by statisticians.
How did you get the goal board?
My wife actually got it for me. They had cleaned out Memorial Stadium when they were renovating it. This is over a decade ago. And they had it stored away with all of these other plaques and posters. And they were like, I wonder if somebody'd be interested. My wife bought it for me at a Husker fundraising auction.
So is it still got like the lines and everything on it? Does it have goals still on it? Or is it just a whiteboard?
No, we had a set number of goals no matter what.
Okay.
So each week it was like 54% third down conversion rate, 1 or less interceptions, 1 or less fumbles, X number of yards per rush, X number of yards per pass.
It was Microsoft BI before BI actually existed.
Yeah, and I don't even know what Microsoft BI is.
It's business information that takes analytics and puts it in like a nice graph.
Well, and what Osborne had done is he had sat down and, like I said, he had done all the metrics. He was a data analyst kind of mindset. And so he had worked it out to figure out, okay, what stats have the biggest impact on a game. And so he came up with a number of these statistical parameters that if we met, like, and some of it was like, the goal is to run X number of plays a game. The goal was to have X amount of time of possession, all of that. So he had come up with all of these goals that if you met like 7 out of these 9 goals or 5 out of these 7 goals, whatever total number of goals there were, that if you met X number of these goals, you had a 97% chance of winning the game. And so, I mean, when you went out there on the field against an opponent, you weren't sitting there thinking, I hope I win the game. You were sitting there going, I hope we get 54% conversion on 3rd down. And so it removed all of that performance stress as a player, because you're not thinking about winning or losing. You're not thinking about, is that rush end going to beat me or am I going to beat him? You're lining up and going, okay, I got to step this way, hand position here. And if I do that, I'm going to have a 89% chance of beating this guy on this pass play.
So it was basically your KPIs and accountability chart all rolled up into one. So you had your key performance index for you sales geeks out there.
Yeah, this was the stuff we worried about when we were out on a field playing, was that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's the reason I look at a lot of these stats. That's why I still to this day have time of possession like burned into my brain, that if you have a fairly marginal advantage in time of possession, you're probably going to win the game.
That's why every coach, whether it's basketball or football,
like Iowa.
Stop it. Just stop picking on me, would you? That's why every coach, basketball, football, when they sit down at a news conference, they'll grab this sheet, which is the final stat sheet, and pretty much all the information they need to know whether they won the football game, why they lost, is right here. Yeah. Right? I mean, you can go much deeper into this stuff, but
and big ones are turnovers. Big ones are
time of possession.
Yeah, you got
rushing yards.
Yeah, all of that stuff really plays into that final outcome. And so, it was. I mean, when I look at this game, it was just like the stats were pretty. I mean, it was a clean game. I mean, I think penalties. And Nebraska had 2, UCLA had 4. I mean, UCLA had 20 yards in penalties. Nebraska had 25 on 2 plays. So it's. Okay, well, the whole 0 turnovers by either team. That's kind of mind blowing to me.
It was and Nebraska was the better team. There was no doubt about it. Watching that, now they get a week off, so they got a bye week coming up before they go to Penn State and then wrap up against Iowa. A good time having a freshman start a game, get that win, then a week off
on the road.
Or do you want to get him back, or is that like, hey, get him back on the field?
That's a good question.
Thank you. I try to ask good questions.
I'm usually let's just keep that going, so you kind of keep that timing and flow a little bit better. And I don't know. I mean, it probably depends on the person, but if it's me, we've discussed this before. I hate bye weeks. I hate downtime during a season. That's why I want to see a playoff that regular season ends,
playoff begins.
Week or 2 later, they're up and running with the playoff. So
you know who does that? Everybody else.
Everybody
else. Hey, make sure to you got one more game left at Memorial Stadium, but you have Husker wrestling, which we're going to get to in a second. You have Husker volleyball. You have Husker basketball, men's and women's. If you want to dress appropriately, you want to go to Husker Hounds. 2 locations in the Omaha area, or online at huskerhounds.com. Our good buddy Scotty Strunk runs an amazing store, has for 25 plus years, and it's where almost every Nebraska fan shops. And even if you don't want Husker gear, he can find something for you to wear of your favorite team. The holidays are coming up, so if you need to get gifts for somebody, you need Husker ornaments for the tree. Hell, he could probably get you a Husker Christmas tree if you ask nicely. But go to Husker Hounds, the superstore over there on 84th and Center in Omaha, or online at huskerhounds.com. Make sure to tell them the Doc Talk Podcast and Dr. Rob Zatechka sent you. If you need legal representation, and we all will at some point in our life, not maybe just for a felony, a misdemeanor, or suing somebody, you may need estate planning. Connor Orr, our good buddy, who's a J-sker, he's a ginger, but he's got a
hockey guy.
He's a hockey guy. Yeah, he's also a Mav.
Those guys are all a little different.
Yeah, if you show up at an Omaha hockey game, you're probably going to see Connor Orr there. So when you need a lawyer, call the group of lawyers at the Orr Law Group. Just go online to orlawgrp.com. That's orlawgrp.com for your legal representation. Now, you mentioned you were at the Husker wrestling meet, which kicked off the season.
So opening duel. I mean, the guys had wrestled. They'd had a couple of open.
Do they call them meet still or duels?
Usually they'll say it's a duel.
But I'm not incorrect with the meet, right? Or am I?
It's a wrestling meet, maybe.
Or is it a track meet? I don't know. My wrestling's...
Yeah, the match is the individual matches. Yeah. It's a wrestling meet.
I mean...
It's a wrestling game. Did you go to the big wrestling game?
Hey, AJ Ferrari was this guy's a beast. Now, he's got a checkered past, folks. Don't think that you have a saint.
There is a polarizing aspect to him.
Yes. Go look like why he left Oklahoma State. Won a national title, and shortly after, things went downhill for AJ Ferrari.
One of the things that
But Nebraska loves a good redemption story.
They do. The thing I was pretty hopeful about with him is that, do you remember? So he went to the Soldier Salute, big, huge open.
Where he flipped everybody off?
Yeah, collegiate meet in Iowa every year.
Yeah.
It's a great tournament. It's a great open. Draws a lot of big names, a lot of teams send packed lineups. He entered as an open. I mean, he was unattached. At the time, it seemed like he was hoping to get hooked up because his brother Angelo's at Iowa and is a really good wrestler there. It seemed like he was hoping to sign with Iowa and be a Hawkeye, wrestle with his brother, and then they ended up...
it wasn't a good fit.
Well, after the Soldier Salute thing, he cheap shot at a guy after a match. He had basically, and it was an Iowa guy, if I recall. He basically won, then cheap shotted, then got DQ'd, did the splits with the double bird to the crowd, and everybody was just like, yeah, he still hasn't learned yet. And then he ended up going to Cal
State
Bakersfield, had a national runner-up season. Well,
at 197, right?
Yeah, lost to the Iowa guy. But it was one of these things where after that loss, they interviewed him. I mean, cameras love guys like that.
Oh, yeah.
So they interview him after that loss. And I mean, he was super complimentary of the opponent. Talked about how tough an opponent he was. Talked about how happy he was to have this opportunity, what Cal State Bakersfield had done for him. It was all about team and opportunity and praise on the opponent and all of that. And I'm like, okay, well, so it'll depend. Are we going to get Soldier Salute Ferrari or are we going to get Cal State Bakersfield Ferrari? And my hope is we get Cal State Bakersfield Ferrari. Now, Tiger can't change their stripe.
True.
So he's always going to have a bit of that attitude. But on the flip side, there is a degree of that that's fun. I mean, that's why people like Gable Steveson. Now, Steveson was he was a total fan favorite because he was the guy who'd stick around after meets and would sign autographs for hours. I mean, my daughter got a picture and autograph with him after Big Tens a few years ago when Lincoln hosted. Steveson said, I mean, the place was empty except for the line of people getting Gable Steveson autographs. Super gracious guy. He's not a Ferrari by any means. Don't get me.
He was just a beast.
But he was a hell of a wrestler, and he's kind of a showman. I mean, he tried the WWE thing. He wins. He does those massive backflips. That's one of those things. Having a little bit of showmanship.
Absolutely.
I have zero problem with that.
I don't disagree.
And in a sport like wrestling where you want more eyes on it, that's a good thing to have. And AJ's a showman.
Well, I mean, Spencer Lee was a showman when he was at Iowa. I mean, the guy just he was a soundbite.
He was.
Guy wrestled with two torn ACLs.
We're deep diving here on wrestling all of a sudden. Spencer Lee was all organic. He wasn't trying to be a showman. He was just that freaking good. And guess what? He's a better freestyle wrestler than he is
But it was good to see a large crowd for wrestling. I think they had a student section at the Devaney Center.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I love going. This is first year we've had season tickets. We went to a number of matches last year, but it's a blast. If you get a chance, go. Mark Manning's got an amazing team. For the better part of a decade and a half, 2 decades, he's had what's steadily been a really, really good top 10 program. They're national runner-ups this past year, and their lineup is loaded again. So
and you know what helps Nebraska wrestling grow is NIL money, right? Yeah. I mean, now you can go get a guy like AJ Ferrari and go, okay.
And that's the thing.
Why they're number 2 in the country. They're not Penn State. Don't think that.
But you've got some local guys on the roster. You got some national guys. Big shout out to, if you get a chance to go watch. So it's Nicaid Zinkin. He's a California kid. He's Nebraska's 149. Super nice win in the duel against Army. Young guy won in overtime. I mean, there were some great matches. I think it was Cade Coyle lost. He lost an overtime match in the first match of the night. But again, you've got some really young guys who are going to end up being just absolute beasts on that wrestling team. It's fun to see that. You've got some great seniors. So if you get a chance, get down to the Devaney. You'll be able to get tickets. They pack it in pretty good as far as a wrestling meet goes. So they get a good turnout, but you can still get tickets, and it's one of these things where it's worth the show. It really is.
So one thing I love about this podcast, and we've been doing it. Rob and I have been podcasting since podcasting was a thing.
Beer, I like the beer.
He likes the beer.
So this is the Cornhusker Crush
from Crosstrain.
I just cracked that open from our friends at Crosstrain. Citrus wheat ale. Like I said, generally not a wheat beer guy. That's a pretty good one, though.
Okay.
I do like it.
And that's got Herbie on the front. So
it does?
That's the number 1 selling craft beer.
By the way, it's Old Herbie.
That's Old Herbie.
It's correct Herbie.
The correct Herbie?
The correct Herbie.
But I was talking about what I love about this podcast is, and this goes back to when we were on TV together and when we did the Husker Hawkeye thing, and then we just and then Dave Remington talked us into just doing a regular podcast, is that I think we've built a really good community here, right? And people send us beer. When you're out and about, they come and talk to you. And people talk about the podcast. I talked to
a couple people at the wrestling tour.
Yeah, and so
came up and asked me about the podcast.
But we're glad you have that relationship with us. And I got something in the mail at work this past week from South Carolina. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was addressed to Dr. Rob Zatechka at MCL Construction. I thought that was funny. I'm like, well, Rob doesn't work here. But it said in care
I like the fact that they address it to me at MCL and it comes to you.
Well, it says in care of Travis Justice. He actually put my title on there, which I thought was pretty interesting because I'm not a title guy.
What is your actual title?
I'm the Director of Business Development and Marketing. That's my title.
All right, there we go.
But you know what? We just have a great team, and that's all that really matters. But it's from Dan, I believe it is, and he sent, I thought this was really cool. He sent a Rob Zatechka New York Giants
I actually had a card.
Yes, Rob had a card. Now I put this on Twitter. I said, "Is Rob holding here?" And everybody said, no. I'm like, it's that left arm. I don't know. I don't know where it's at.
I might have a little chunk of cloth there because I do remember that game against the Saints. It was a later season game.
God, you were a big dude,
and
man.
I think we were playing the Saints. We were playing the Saints in New York when that photo was taken.
But he sent it. It's all in. It's protected. It's like in ideal shape. Here's what it says: Rob Zatechka, New York Giants. College, Nebraska, drafted 4th round, 1995. Rob started 6 games at left guard in 1996 and helped the Giants average 4.2 yards per carry when running to that side. What side were you on, right or left? You're on the left. He made his first NFL start as a 95 rookie and helped form a wall that didn't allow a single sack in 33 passing calls. Zatechka was an all Big 8 performer during his senior season.
That was the Bears game, those 33 passing calls.
When he was a member of Nebraska's national championship team. So he would like you to sign this. So we're going to take it out of the protector, and he wants you to sign. And you know what's cool about, because I always heard Bob Gibson, God rest his soul, but Bob told me, that people would send him cards all the time, and they would never put return postage.
Really?
Yeah. And so Bob goes, you're not going to send me return postage? I'm keeping the card. Now, Bob Gibson cards are worth a little bit more money than Rob Zatechka card. Just saying.
Just a pinch.
But he was like, I'm not going to write an envelope out. I'm not going to put a stamp on it. That's not my job to do that. So he kept the card.
Yeah. Which, truth be told, I get a few of these a year. Not a lot, or sometimes, a lot of times people just find a photo of me. They'll print it off the internet on photo paper, send it to me, and ask for an autograph. I can't recall not getting a return.
Well,
return envelope, a stamped return envelope,
and it's from Dean. I'm sorry, it's from Dean from Seneca, South Carolina. So
I don't even know where Seneca, South Carolina.
Either do I. But after the show, we're going to carefully take this out of the protector and have you send it.
I'm going to do it.
Now, maybe I don't want a rush of these coming, especially to the office, because I can't guarantee that it's going to get up to my office.
I don't know how many of those are out there. There can't be a lot.
It's just impressive. And you still have that helmet, right? That's in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So there you go. Beer and cards. You the man. You the man.
I do okay.
Now, we mentioned that the Huskers aren't playing on Saturday, so they get a week off. But what a better week and what a better night on Saturday night than to support local music. So Owen is going to be at the Reverb Lounge. Owen, who are you opening for at the Reverb Lounge in Omaha?
Ben Chapman.
Why do I know Ben Chapman? Is it because he's written some pretty good stuff, hasn't he? I think he's written for like Flatland Cavalry and some other things. But so Ben Chapman's going to be at the Reverb Lounge. Owen Justice is going to open for him. Show starts at 8. I actually bought my tickets the other day. Can you believe this? My son won't even get me like door tickets. I have to buy my tickets. You don't feel sorry for me. I have no problem buying tickets, but I went and bought my tickets at the Reverb Lounge website the other day, and you had to go into the checkout, but right now it's buy one get one free, which is pretty cool. So tickets are like $20, but you can get 2 for $10 right now. So if you're doing nothing on Saturday night, support local music and support Owen. You can go up there and afterwards say, hey, we like the production you put together and great job in the studio. Give him some kudos.
There we go. And you can say, I saw him at the Reverb Lounge.
That's right. And by the way, Owen, curious, because you've played a lot of venues, I love the Reverb. The Reverb is actually one of the better places I like to watch live music. Do you like playing there?
Yep, I do. It's a good place to play.
Great sound, intimate, seats about 150, 200. It's all stand.
Really good on stage. I don't know. I'm up there, so I don't know how it sounds out there, but on stage, it sounds very good.
Yeah.
I'm into the Reverb.
Which is rare. Most of the time we're on stage, and I'm like, man, this must sound like shit. Everyone probably thinks it sounds like it does on stage.
No, the Reverb is a great place. So if you haven't heard Owen's music, go to Spotify, go to YouTube Music, wherever you download your music, look up Owen Justice, and the album is Upstream, and it's a good album, about 38 minutes long, good stuff. So yeah, this Saturday rather, at the Reverb Lounge in Omaha, Owen opening up for Ben Chapman. So check it out. All right, if you found this podcast on Husker Max, we want to thank David Max and Joe Hudson for helping distribute this. If you found it on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcast, make sure to go ahead and subscribe so the download goes into your queue each and every week. If you are watching on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, start leaving your comments in the comments section. Even though Nebraska doesn't play next week, we will be back with another edition of the Husker Doc Talk podcast. Thank you so much. See you next week.